Corey Michael Sanchez here. Welcome to the webinar here today. We're going to get all the slides fired up, and then we're going to get rocking here. But I just want to get on and welcome everybody to the webinar. Go to the chat box to see a lot of friendly faces here, people we know, friends of Mojo. This is Corey Michael Sanchez of MojoGlobal.com. My business partner is Ira Rosen. We are happy to bring you this amazing webinar here. So we're going to teach you some really fabulous things about LinkedIn, right? And we're going to start teaching you about some very lucrative systems for getting lots of people to contact you on LinkedIn, and also a very cool automation tool that you can use to enhance what you're doing. Very cool. Welcome, everybody. So go to the chat box and let me know where you're coming in from. Okay, where where are you actually located at, and also what's your business? Okay, so go to the chat box now, and love to hear that. So go ahead and do that, and then Greg, if you want to pull up your the first slide or something like that on the screen and take over the presenter mode, that would be excellent. That would be awesome. And I'm going to introduce my friend Greg in just a moment. We got all kinds of people coming in here. We've got Scott from Tampa. We've got Yvette. Hello, Yvette. Dana. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, you guys can. We got Zena from NJ. We've got Robert from Seattle. We've got Craig from Denver. Very cool. We got Greg from Tucson. Welcome, Greg. We've got Betsy from Spokane, Washington. Steve from Scottsdale. Craig from Colorado. Jerry from Mesa. We've got a lot of people from Mesa. That's where we're from. We've got Robert, one of our great customers. He's in the IT consulting spaces. We've got Neil from Phoenix. We've got Tim from Oak Brook, Illinois. Nice. We've got Betsy, does reputation marketing. Scott from Nashville. We've got people from all over, Chandler, Arizona, Illinois, Bill, Jill, Mark, welcome. We've got Florida here, Scottsdale. We've got London in the house, New Hampshire. Welcome, Dan. All right, good. We've got all kinds of people getting in here. We've got all kinds of people just flowing into this webinar. So very excited to bring this webinar to you. We've got Mr. Michael Lambert from San Jose. We've got Bill over here, Johnny Walker. It's a very nice name, from Scottsdale. Good. Lots of Arizona people. Good to see you guys. We got Debbie from Ohio. It's not as nice in Ohio as it is in Arizona, but glad you could make it onto the webinar here today. We've got Columbus. Andy, welcome. So we're getting started right now. I just want to do a -1 degrees, Debbie. Ooh, that's cold.
Where's Debbie at?
She's in Ohio.
Oh, so I feel your pain, Debbie.
All right, Mr. Ira Rosen just joined us, so let's get cranking here. You guys are fabulous. Always great to do a great webinar. So here, let's just rock it out. Absolutely. And anything else, Ira, before we get started with this great webinar that we're introducing for Greg Wells?
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank Greg for getting this amazing community together, and
so we're putting this webinar for him, Ira, and so
right. And so what we're going to be able to do here is Greg is one of those high-value clients. People that we joint venture with, that he has some amazing things that we're going to all talk about today.
All right, so let's rock and roll, shall we? Let me introduce Greg, and I'm going to turn it over to him, okay? So Greg, he's a best-selling author. He's trained over 1,200 professionals. Well, actually, here, let me show my screen real quick.
No, 12, actually way more than that. He's got 120,000 that he actually...
Yeah, 120,000. Hold on one second. I'm just going to show my screen so we make sure we have a good recording here. I'm going to change it.
Yeah, we met Greg on the Marketers Cruise, and I got to tell you, this guy is amazing. He knows LinkedIn. He's a subject matter expert, and he's that guy that really, he'll show you some things here that are amazing. Okay, so Greg Wells, best-selling author, trained over 120,000 professionals on LinkedIn, has spoken for Tony Robbins' Business Mastery. Also teamed up with Jack Canfield, author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and he's been seen on NBC, CBS, CNN, The Wall Street Journal, and Fast Company, and they dub him as the nation's leading expert in search optimization with LinkedIn, which is a huge, distinct honor. He specializes in getting you to the top of the search results with LinkedIn, which leads you to being found by clients with career opportunities and all kinds of stuff in business. And with Greg's LinkedIn search optimization strategies and media connections, he can guarantee any business or professional to get picked up
into the major media such as ABC or NBC. And that leads you to getting massive exposure and expert authority positioning. So I'm very happy to present Mr. Greg Wells. So Greg, why don't you take it over from here? Excited to have you perform this webinar. So let's see what you have to dive into, and let's all enjoy the webinar.
Let's dive into how to dominate and cash in on LinkedIn. And I want to start with some interaction here, because it's absolutely proven that the more you interact in any training, the more you're hands-on in any training, the more you're going to retain. So when I ask you to interact today, it's not so much for my benefit. It's not that I need to know your answer to this question. It's about giving you the opportunity to engage, because when you're engaging physically, it engages your subconscious mind, and you'll retain more of what we're learning here today. So let's start off with a question to get our engagement going here. And this question is, if you're not a professional, would you still use a site like LinkedIn if it meant thousands of dollars a month easily? Give me a yes or no, or I don't know in the chat box. Don't be afraid to say no or I don't know. The point is for you to engage. And the reason I ask this question is sometimes we put labels onto ourselves or labels onto websites, and sometimes we've labeled, some people think of LinkedIn as this place for professionals, but that may not be the place for me. Maybe you see yourself as an entrepreneur or an author or whatever it might be. But the point is, let's throw the labels out. If LinkedIn is a place where you can make money, it's a place that you need to be. Next question I want to float out there before we dive into this is, if you don't currently offer services, would you offer a service if it was completely turnkey? You could learn it in an afternoon or less, and it could make you $800 per sale with just minutes of fulfillment. Give me a heck yes if this is a no-brainer for you. Give me a no or I'm not sure if you're not sure. And the analogy I like to use here is, if there was a $100 bill on the ground, and it didn't belong to anyone, would you bend over and pick it up? Or would you just walk by and say, well, that's not really what I do. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm this or that. I'm not somebody who bends over and picks up $100 bills. No, you wouldn't say that. That would sound silly. Of course you would bend over and pick up the money. So again, don't let these labels limit what you're going to be able to get out of today's training. Don't feel like, well, I don't offer services. How am I going to be able to do this service that I'm going to show you on LinkedIn? If the money's there to be made, take it, pick it up, and then use that money to finance your dreams, to finance your passion and your other businesses. It's a no-brainer. Okay, last one. And the engagement level's been really good, but I want to see everyone on these last ones here. So would you maintain an open mind even if you've never considered using LinkedIn in the past? Or if you already are using LinkedIn and are bringing in some preconceived notions, could you put those on hold if it meant a different approach that could get you better results? And I want to see a yes or a no from everyone who's here today before we move on here. Again, the point is, you might think, well, what's the point of me typing in yes? The point is for you to be engaging. You're warming up your subconscious to take in everything you're going to be learning here today. So let's start with putting LinkedIn under a microscope. And let's start with some of the critical differences between LinkedIn and Facebook. The first question I'm going to ask you, and I want you to give me an LI in the chat box if the answer is LinkedIn, or an FB if the answer is Facebook. And the question is, on which of these sites, LinkedIn or Facebook, can you see who's viewed your profile? Wouldn't it be awesome on your website if you could just see every person that's ever been to your website? Well, you can't do that on your website. It sure would be awesome. And you can't do that on Facebook. But on LinkedIn, you can see everyone who's viewed your profile. Just click on them and follow up with them. And we're going to learn how to really leverage that and cash in on that here today. Next question. On which of these sites usually ranks best for your name? When somebody meets you these days and Googles you, they want to find out if they should do business with you and make that decision, which site is usually showing up when they Google your name, your personal name? Is it your LinkedIn or your Facebook? You tell me. Once again, I'm seeing almost all LIs coming in the chat box, and that's because in almost all cases, LinkedIn is what ranks best for your name. Lastly, which of these sites has the higher average annual salary per user? And I'll give you a hint. The answer for the winner is that on this site, the average member has over $100,000 a year in income. That means they have money to buy your products, to buy your services, to buy your coaching, your consulting, your books. And you want to market to people who have money to afford your programs. And again, LinkedIn is the answer. So LinkedIn is by far not just about jobs. That's certainly how LinkedIn had started out, and it's been my claim to fame on LinkedIn in the past. What you need to realize, LinkedIn has grown to over 250 million members, and while some of them are looking for a job, many more of them are on there to find a solution to a problem in their business or professional life. And one of our recurring themes today is going to be, if you're in business, you're in the business of solving problems for people. And if someone's looking for someone to solve a problem, they're looking for you. They're looking for you on LinkedIn. So consider this. If just one person, for whatever reason, does a Google search and sees your LinkedIn profile, and that creates a favorable impression in their mind that leads to you directly or indirectly making money, would that be worth your time here today? Give me a yes or no in the chat box. If you got just one new client that worked with you for the rest of this year based on what they saw in your LinkedIn profile from having done a Google search for you, would that alone make it worth your while being here today? And again, don't be afraid to put no or I don't know in the chat box. I'm seeing lots of yeses pouring in here today. And that's fantastic because we are going to way over-deliver on that expectation here today. If that alone would make it worth your time being here, you're going to be thrilled with what we cover today. On today's webinar, we are going to cover the 3-word sentence you must put on your LinkedIn profile that opens and closes deals for you. Next, we are going to cover how to get people willing to throw money at you. They are going to see something on your LinkedIn and say, oh my gosh, can you help me do that? And can I please give you money to do that? Then we're going to cover how to land keynote speaking opportunities, paid 5-figure keynote speaking opportunities from LinkedIn. They're in abundance on LinkedIn. We're going to cover why you're not currently anywhere in probably 99% of the 4.2 billion searches on LinkedIn, and how to fix this almost effortlessly. We're going to cover how to get 25,000 targeted profile views. Imagine your exact perfect target audience viewing your profile on complete autopilot on LinkedIn. We are going to cover the 3 calls to action that work best for getting people to contact you on LinkedIn, the 10 words you should never put on your profile on LinkedIn. Chances are at least one of these is on your profile and it's killing deals for you. And we're going to start with the 3 most important areas of your profile and exactly what to do to get the best results. So I'm going to give you absolutely everything I can in the time we've got today. We're going to need to move at a pretty rapid pace to cover all of this. That's why it's really important that you're engaging so that your subconscious is taking this in so that this will come back to you by the end of the training here today. Now, an important note about myself, I'm not somebody who considers myself an internet marketing guru. I hate the guru label. I'm the anti-guru. And very little of my income comes from teaching what I'm sharing with you today. My income comes from doing this stuff. And that's what makes this really good for you being here today, is I'm really basically opening up my doors and showing you how I run my business on LinkedIn today so that you can get the same results that I'm getting from LinkedIn. And just to give you an idea of some of the results I've gotten from LinkedIn, I've used LinkedIn to build an email subscriber list with over 160,000 members. Think about how easy your marketing would be if you had even a tenth of this. If you had a list of 16,000 diehard followers from LinkedIn, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. I've generated over $1 million in revenue from LinkedIn for 3 years straight now. Again, think about it. If you got just a tenth of that from LinkedIn, that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. And while I'm not a guru, I've advised a lot of the top internet marketing gurus. Wikipedia considers Frank Kern to be the #1 person in the world in internet marketing. This is Frank and I trading ideas about what he should be doing on LinkedIn at his mastermind. And Russell Brunson, another well-known internet marketer, as you can see from this Facebook chat, $20,000 a month, probably close to $250K, Russell says he generated from one introduction that I made to him. I'm going to make that same introduction to you today. Even Tony Robbins pinned me down to do a full training to his customers. Tony, I'm a huge Tony fan. He charges $5,000 for his business mastery course. That's what other people paid to get my LinkedIn training. And you're going to get everything I delivered in that business mastery and more here today. I've been in all the major media thanks to LinkedIn. I'm going to show you how I've done that and how you can do that. I've landed a book deal from LinkedIn that went on to become a bestseller. You've probably heard of Jack Canfield. He authored the Chicken Soup for the Soul series and is the author of The Secret. Jack's editors found me on LinkedIn. We did a book deal together. It became a bestseller. I'm going to show you how I did that as well. So without further ado, enough about me. Let's jump into your success on LinkedIn. There are three main elements to your success, and we're going to dive deep into all three of these right now. Let's start with what I call conversion strategies on LinkedIn. And so what I mean by conversion is, let's say currently there are 100 people that look at your profile over the course of a year, and one out of those 100 people choose to do business with you. That would mean that currently you have a 1% conversion rate on LinkedIn. With what I'm going to show you next, it's likely you'll improve your conversion rate to 10% on LinkedIn. What would that mean for your business in terms of dollars and cents? Give me a dollar number in the chat box here today. And again, the more you engage and participate, the more you're going to get out of this training. Remember, this is not a 10% increase in your business. We're talking about a 10-fold increase in your business just by tweaking your conversion strategies on LinkedIn. Just by getting, instead of one out of those 100 people looking at you to choose you, we now get 10 out of those 100 people to choose you. I'm seeing numbers like 50K per month, 5K per month, 100K per month, 7 figures in some cases coming into the chat box here today. Well, that's what we are going to dive into next. And the beauty of these conversion strategies is that it's much easier to make more money out of the exposure you're already getting than to have to go out and get more exposure. Also, you do this stuff once. I'm going to show you a few simple things to do to your profile to improve your conversion strategies that will make that impact in your bottom line. And you do it, and then it's done forever. It doesn't take any ongoing extra work on LinkedIn. So where do we start? Well, here are the three most important parts of your profile when someone first discovers you on LinkedIn: your picture, your headline, and your current positions. Let's cover exactly what needs to take place in all three of these. Starting with your picture. Your picture is what instantly captures the eye at a glance on LinkedIn. It needs to create instant authority. Your picture is what gets them to read your headline. There are too many so-called LinkedIn experts out there that talk about how important your headline is, but never talk about how important your picture is. Your picture is what draws the eye to you on LinkedIn. As an example, let me show you, this is the exact search that Jack Canfield's editors told me they ran on LinkedIn. Now, why do you think Jack Canfield's editors contacted me to do that book with Jack that went on to become a bestseller and has been huge for my business and my success? Why did they pick me? You tell me in the chat box. I wasn't at the very top of the search results. My friend Jason's there. And I wasn't, everyone who's on this page was already a well-established author. I wasn't as well-established an author. But why did they pick me? What in my picture captured their attention and caused them to pick me? In fact, they didn't even consider anyone else or contact anyone else. I was their only choice when they were looking for a LinkedIn expert. Exactly. I see some of you getting it, putting it in the chat box here. Having those media logos in my picture captured their eye, and it created instant authority. They were more likely to listen to me because I had those logos in my picture. And that's one of the big takeaways that I want you to get from today, is if you've been in any media at all, big or small, you want to put that in your profile picture. It's going to bring more people in to read your profile on LinkedIn, but this is much bigger than LinkedIn. You want to use this strategy on Facebook and anywhere that you have a profile picture. At a very simple glance, when you have those media logos, not only do you stand out from the rest of the results, but people are now more willing to listen to you as an influencer, and you're recognized as an expert. You communicate a level of status and trust. If Greg's the guy people NBC is going to when they want to know about LinkedIn, that's who I want to go to when I would need help with LinkedIn. And overall, you dramatically improve your chances at getting a client both on LinkedIn and off LinkedIn. And the reason I say off LinkedIn is because when someone meets you in the offline real world, they Google you and they wind up at your LinkedIn as part of their due diligence. And if your picture demonstrates that authority right away, they're much more likely to choose you. So you need to have this authority in your profile picture. Now, by the way, how much would it be worth to any business owner or professional to get guaranteed placement into the major media, such as ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, and then to be able to use those logos on your LinkedIn profile or on your web page or your business card? Give me a dollar figure in the chat box here. How much would it be worth to either your business or to one of your clients' business? Give me both in the chat box here for them to be cited into all four of these major media networks and then to be able to use those logos. It would be priceless, I'm seeing coming in here, 100K, 25K, millions. You're right. It is that valuable to have major media endorsing you and positioning you as an authority. And we're going to learn how to do that today, how to get that authority using LinkedIn. So what's next? Well, after your picture draws them into your profile, your professional headline is what people are going to read next. Your headline is very important. A great headline further conveys your authority, differentiates you from the rest of your competition, and includes a URL. If you want to drive traffic and build an email list like I have, you need to put your website URL right there in the headline of your LinkedIn profile. That's how I've been able to build this list from LinkedIn. Now lastly, your current positions display right under your headline. You want to make these clickable links. These don't have to be jobs. That's a big mistake a lot of people make on LinkedIn. Here's a great example of a current position. This is my client and friend Vivica Von Rosen. If you see the red arrow there, she's got a clickable link to her YouTube channel as a current position. If your jobs that you've had in the past have nothing to do with what you're currently doing, you don't want those showing up at the top of your LinkedIn profile. That's not consistent with your brand and your messaging. Instead, make them clickable links. You'll also notice Vivica's following what I teach about putting the logos right there in her profile picture. I'm going to show you how that's paid off big for her in a case study coming up. So just a quick review of what we've covered so far. The three most important ways to stand out on LinkedIn are having an image that conveys authority, a headline with your specialization and a link, and then your current positions set up as website links. When you do just this, take a look at the results you get. Here's Carrie Wilkerson, a well-known speaker and coach in the business world and marketing world. She says, Greg's LinkedIn secret strategy has added over 313 registrations to my email list and to my sales webinar using LinkedIn. All she's done is has the picture with the logos and the link right there in her headline, just like I've shown you. That's the results that you can expect to get when you do this. Now remember, this stuff so far just helps someone choose to look at your LinkedIn profile instead of looking at someone else's LinkedIn profile. It doesn't guarantee you'll improve your conversions or sales, but it definitely helps. You've got to get them to look at you first. The best way to get profits and business from LinkedIn is where their eye goes next on your LinkedIn profile, and that's your profile summary. Most people treat your profile summary as a place to list your work experience. That's a big mistake. Instead, you want to treat it like a sales letter. With a properly done summary, your profile pre-sells prospects, and the rest of your experience doesn't even matter. If you want to turn your LinkedIn profile into a selling machine, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do this today. You've got to treat it like a salesperson. Now just think, if you were a salesperson and you walked into an appointment with a client and started talking about yourself, how would that meeting go? Tell me in the chat box. Not very well. If you said things like, well, I have 8 years experience in sales and I have an MBA and I'm a team player and a thought leader And, I'm considered one of the best at doing this. If you started saying those things on a sales appointment, it would be a disaster. But most of us, that's what we say in our LinkedIn profile summary. We talk about ourselves instead of treating this as a place to make a sale. So how does any good sales call? Those of you that have done sales, tell me in the chat box. How does it go? You're right. It usually starts with asking some questions. That's how you build rapport and learn about your customers' needs. But more importantly, you talk about things from their point of view in their benefit. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this using a framework, using a formula. Before I do that, whatever you do, avoid these buzzwords on LinkedIn. LinkedIn themselves is reporting that these are the 10 most overused buzzwords, and that if you use these buzzwords, these fluff words, people will start to doubt everything that you say in your LinkedIn profile. They'll start to wonder, well, if you're using these words and exaggerating here, I wonder what else you're exaggerating about. And at a subconscious level, they start to distrust you. So if you're engaging with me, those will sink right into your subconscious, as will this formula. Here is the formula of exactly what needs to be in your LinkedIn profile summary. It's a 3-sentence formula that's proven to work. Do not alter from this. We're going to go through some examples of this to flesh this out so you can really learn this and understand how this works. It's a 3-sentence formula that will turn your LinkedIn profile into a selling machine for you. This is what goes in your summary. Let me give you an example. Let's say your target audience is speakers and coaches, and you help them to get a book to become a bestseller. So we're going to open with a question. This is what would go in your LinkedIn profile summary here. We're going to start with asking a question. And because that's how any good sales call would go. That's how you engage the person that's reading your profile, just like you would engage in a sales appointment. So this question, it's how most speakers and coaches struggle to write a book and get it to become a #1 bestseller. What we're doing here, if we back up to that formula, you'll see it always starts with how. Then we're plugging in our target audience. Then we're inserting what the biggest problem is that you solve for your target audience. If you're in business, you're really in the business of solving problems for your customers. That's what they pay you to do. And so you want to insert what the biggest problem is that you solve there and then ask that question mark. Then in sentence 2, you're going to say, I solved this. Sentence 2 is the same for all of us. The bold parts are the same for all of us. Then in sentence 3, you go on to tell them how you solve it. Here's why this works. Let me give you the psychology behind this formula. So why this works is that what you're doing is you're offering a solution to the very problem your audience is most likely seeking, the biggest problem they're seeking. And when you frame it in the point of how, They understand my problems. Finally, somebody is speaking to my world instead of talking about themselves. Then when you go on to say, I solved that, it compels the reader to say, really? You can solve that problem? I want that. But then they're naturally curious and skeptical, and they want to know how you solve it. So what you're having is a dialogue in the reader's head with them without you needing to be there. This is a very advanced copywriting technique, but I'm making it very simple, fill in the blank for you. That's what I do. And I'm showing you how to apply it to LinkedIn. So let's do another example. Let's say you're an offline local marketer. That's someone who sells leads to businesses in your local market. They don't have to be in your city, but they could be in any city. You sell the leads. In this example, let's say you're servicing the Tampa area. That's where I live. So in this example, it's you know how. That's the same for all of us. And I want you to start to picture how you could just fill in the blank with your business and what your target audience here. So in this case, the target audience is small businesses in Tampa. You know how small businesses in Tampa struggle, and then we're plugging in what the biggest problem is. What they struggle with is finding new customers from the internet. They know they need to be using the internet, but they don't know how. So when a business owner in Tampa reads this, their head is nodding, saying, yeah, this is somebody who gets me. That's the problem I'm trying to solve. That's why I'm on LinkedIn looking for somebody to help me in the first place. And then when in sentence 2, you say, I solved this, it's like you're having this conversation with them in their head. Sentence 3, you tell them how you solve it in a very unique way. This is very powerful. And not only does this work hook, line, and sinker on LinkedIn, but you can use this on your website. You can use this anywhere. I use this very same formula as my elevator pitch when I meet people at conferences or networking events. I don't meet people and tell them I'm a LinkedIn expert and author, because that doesn't mean anything to them. And it's great when you do it in person, you can see it working. That's where I tested this and found that it really works so well. Because what happens, I meet somebody at a conference and they say, Greg, what do you do? And what I say to them is, well, you know how business owners are looking for ways to get more leads and clients from the internet? And I pause kind of dramatically there, and I can literally see their head nodding. I can see their brain thinking, yeah, that's exactly why I'm at this conference in the first place. And then I say, I solved this. And again, I pause a little bit, and I could see them just waiting, like chomping at the bit, saying, well, how do you do that? Sometimes they'll even ask me that, how do you do that? And that's the perfect entree for me to then tell them about my products and services. That's what you want. You want to set people up to tell them about your products and services and how they solve problems for them. You can use this as your elevator pitch. You can use this on your LinkedIn. It's proven to work. Give me a yes in the chat box if you're seeing how this could work for you and your business. Don't worry if you don't have it down perfect yet. Let me put that formula back up on here. At least get the formula down right now. And by the way, notice the words I put in red here. Notice the words in red. Pay close attention. Those are what are called emotional words. People buy based on emotions. If you want to get people ready to buy from you, you need to tap into those emotions. You don't want to just talk about the problem you solve, but remind them that they're struggling to solve this problem. And tell them that you can solve it in a fun way that's not going to be a lot of work for them. Here are some examples of emotional words to use. If you're engaging with me right now, these will sink right into your brain. You won't worry that we're going kind of fast through this. These are emotional words for you to use that will make it even more powerful. I sell $1,000 plus programs from my LinkedIn profile without me ever needing to talk to a person, just by tapping into emotions and using this 3-sentence formula that I've given you. And this works for any and every business. Here's the formula. We're going to go through one last example to really hammer it down. Make sure you've got just the formula written down right now. Don't worry about getting it exactly right for your business. You may have a draft that you're working on right now, but if you're engaging throughout today's training, your subconscious it'll just snap into place in the next 24 hours. You'll get it, and you'll have this built for your business. Let's do one last example. You know how it's hard to get into national publications like NBC and ABC so you can become a recognized media authority? I'm asking you guys the question. It's hard, right? Some of you are even asking me about this because earlier in the presentation I was talking about how important it is for you to have those media logos. That's what draws the eye to your LinkedIn profile. And what you asked me was, well, how do we get them into the media, Greg? So this should really start to hit home as an example of using this, because when I tell you I solved this, now you're curious. Really? How do you do that, Greg? And that's what you want. You want people asking, how do you do what you do in your business? That's part of what we're going to learn how to do today, is how to get into the major media. This is how the psychology behind this works. It's hook, line, and sinker, setting up your products and services as the solution to their products, setting up the sale for you. It's a pre-sell formula. Now, once you've done this, let's put everything together, how it ties together. Someone does a search on LinkedIn. And remember, if they're searching on LinkedIn, they're searching for a person that they want to hire to help them. So when they do the search, it's the logos in the picture. That's what draws them into your profile. Then they click through, they land on your profile, and they read this pre-sale statement. And now they're ready to buy from you because you've shown them how what you do is going to solve the very problem that they need solved. All you need now to close the deal, right from your website, right from your LinkedIn profile, is just a call to action. The call to action is where you ask for the sale. It's where you tell people what to do next. These are the 3 best calls to action on LinkedIn. Notice I've made them fill in the blank for you. Write down all 3 of these. You need to be using all 3 of these. These are tested and proven to work. We all know that calls to action are marketing 101. You would never run an advertisement, maybe a paid ad on Facebook, and not tell people what to do. You wouldn't make a video and put it on YouTube and not get everyone all excited about you and not tell them where to go next. You've got to tell people what to do next. People like to have directions. And these are the 3 calls to action you need to use on LinkedIn. Now, what I've just shown you works for every single business. No matter what type of business you're in, no matter whether you have products, services, coaching, or consulting, and no matter what your price point is, when you put what I just showed you into your LinkedIn profile and have the right people looking at your LinkedIn profile, they will be ready to do business with you, and they will buy right from your LinkedIn profile without you needing to do a thing. Take a look at what Randall has to say here. He said, this is the best LinkedIn training I've had in the past 3 years. As soon as I implemented the summary format you suggested, I started getting groups from major corporations signing up for my training course, which equals 7 to 10K per group. He is selling programs that are $7,000 a pop right from his LinkedIn profile without having to talk to a single person. This will work for your product or service at any price point, and no matter what it is, because you've got a match between your message and your target audience. Now, you might be thinking at this point, well, Greg, this is all well and good so far with what you've shown me. One problem, though. How am I going to get anyone to see my LinkedIn profile? And fair game if you're thinking that right now. If you are, give me a yes in the chat box. Or if you're having that thought now that I told you this, again, give me a yes in the chat box. The more you engage, the more you're going to be learning here today. Because really, even if you put all this pre-sale statement and call to action into your profile, if nobody ever looks at your profile, aren't you the equivalent of being a beautiful billboard out in the middle of nowhere? And the answer is yes, you're right. And as you guys are seeing, I'm a straight shooter with you guys. But you know what? I solved this. And I put this in this format just so you can see how this works again. It's just another example of how this formula works, hook, line, and sinker. What did I do? I opened with a question about a problem you need solved. Because you now know how to have a fantastic selling machine LinkedIn profile. All you need now is to have a great offer and have people looking at your LinkedIn profile. So when I tell you I'm about to solve this next right here today with you, you hook, line, you're chomping at the bit, ready to learn how to do it. That's how that works, that formula. So let's start with what converts to cash best on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can see who's viewed your profile. And people don't land on your profile by accident. If they're looking at your profile, you need to follow up with them. That's money on the table, ready for you to scoop it up. If you're already aware of this or already doing this, give me a yes in the chat box. If this is new information to you, give me a no in the chat box or new in the chat box, and I'll spend an extra minute on this. I want to make sure you're understanding what I'm talking about here. So and I'm seeing lots of yeses pouring in. Here comes some of the no's coming in. So let's just spend an extra minute on this, even if it puts us behind by a minute. So on your LinkedIn homepage, okay, the very homepage of your LinkedIn, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see this on the left-hand side here. You see where it says 73 people have viewed your profile in the past day? And that's LinkedIn telling you the number of people that have viewed your profile. When you click on that, this window on the right-hand side pops up here. And what this is, these are all those people. These are the very people that viewed my profile. And I can click on each of these people and read a little bit about them and then send them a message. It says, hey, I see you on my LinkedIn profile. I just wanted to follow up with you. Because they're not looking at your profile by accident. This isn't like Google where they might be researching how to do something and stumble across you. No. If you're on LinkedIn, it's because you're looking for a person. That's all that's on LinkedIn. You're looking for a person that can solve the problem that you have. You are the answer to that problem. If you're in business, you're in the business of solving problems. So this is money on the table following up with these people. Now, with the free account on LinkedIn, you can see the last 5 people who have viewed your profile. When you're starting out, that's all you really need is the free account. Once you're starting to get more than 5 views a day, which I'm going to show you how to do next, then you're going to want to upgrade to the paid account on LinkedIn. The paid account starts at just $20 a month. For $20 a month, you can see everyone who's viewed your profile and go as far back as you want to. And you want to be able, those are leads, really good leads. If they're looking at you, there's a reason they were looking at you. Now, I have a question for you. This is a real, not a trick question, but it's a good question to be a test of your business savvy here today. Why do you think LinkedIn is educating everyone to follow up with who's viewed your profile? Why do you think they're doing that? It's the big push this year. In fact, 70% of you that are here today told me you're already aware. Someone's already told you about this. You put in the chat box, yes, that you already know about this. You're doing this already. In fact, at the end of last year, LinkedIn themselves called together the top 20 LinkedIn experts in the world. I was on this webinar. And they gave us their roadmap for the future, and they told us this is the future. This is what we want you to be teaching everyone, to go out and follow up with who's viewed your profile. Why does LinkedIn want me and every LinkedIn expert to be teaching you to do this? Some of you are getting it. The really smart people here in the chat box are putting it in. It's very simple. They want you to be following up with who's viewed you because they want you to upgrade to the paid account. They want your $20 a month. If LinkedIn can get 1% of its members to buy this, that's 2.5 million people. 2.5 million people times $20 a month, I think that's $50 million a month in revenue. It's 100% profit margin for them. It's brilliant on their end, and it's win-win for us. There's nothing wrong with LinkedIn doing this. We want these leads. We want to be able to follow up with these people. It's worth $20 a month to be able to see all these people. Now, I saw this trend coming last year, and what I'm going to show you next is a strategy that puts you ahead of this trend and leverages this trend. The trend is everyone's being taught to follow up with who's viewed them on their profile. So how do we get ahead of this trend? What's the secret tactic? Well, very simply, on LinkedIn, you want to find your exact target audience and go view their LinkedIn profile. Why? Because what are they being taught to do? They're being taught to come back and look at your profile. And when they're looking at your profile, and you've got your profile written with that pre-sell statement, they're going to be hook, line, and sinker ready to buy from you. They're going to land on your call to action and go to your web page and give you money using this very simple tactic of going out and viewing your target audience. Do you get this? If you're following this, because it's a little bit sneaky, but it's so simple. If you're getting this, give me a yes in the chat box. If it's not clear, give me a no or not clear in the chat box, and I'll spend another minute on it. You know, we're not generating random views here. We're going to be very specific. We're going to search on LinkedIn, which LinkedIn is so good at letting you search and find your exact perfect target audience. You do that using the advanced search feature on LinkedIn. It's very simple. We can show you that during the Q&A. And then you go out and view their profile. Now, I find for every 100 profiles you view, on average, 7 will come back and view you within about 72 hours. And it works especially well when you've got those authority logos in your profile picture. Like you see my picture in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. When people see that and they're like, who's this guy Greg that's been on NBC that's looking at me? I'm curious about that. I'm going to go back and check him out. So these strategies tie together really well. Having those logos also feeds into making this work. Now, it may not sound that good to get get 7 people viewing you back, but if there's 7 of your exact perfect target audience, and when they get to your LinkedIn profile, here's again how this ties together, you've written your profile pre-sale statement to speak to that exact target audience. This works like a charm consistently. You can generate traffic and views and customers on demand. Now, question for you guys. Do you think guys like me sit around doing this manually, or do I have a better way of doing this? Tell me in the chat box if you think you might know what that is. I'm not sitting around all day viewing my target audience. My target audience in one of my businesses is job seekers. I could be on there all day doing that. And yes, I know outsourcing is often our first thought, especially here today. But really, even with your outsourcer, if you have the person doing the same task over and over again, that's not the most efficient use of outsourcing. There's always a better way to automate it. Exactly. I see some of you guys getting it. That's something that I'm going to show you guys how we do that during the Q&A, and you're going to love it because you literally just push a button, and it goes out and gets all the views for you and gets them coming back and viewing your profile. Now, consider this as well. LinkedIn is also a search engine. And so if you show up at the top of the search results, this is a great additional way for you to get traffic and exposure on LinkedIn of your exact target audience. The most common searches on LinkedIn are SEO, search engine optimization, social media, speaker, author, consultant, web designer. If you do any of those things or are able to outsource any of those things, you want to be found on LinkedIn. There is lots of business taking place on LinkedIn. This is the perfect place for you to utilize outsourcing. So, search optimization, how do we get to the top of the search results on LinkedIn is what I'm going to show you next. And the reason Fast Company magazine dubs me the nation's leading expert at teaching this is not because I'm necessarily better than anyone else at doing it. It's because I make it very simple for you to follow and do for yourself. Now, getting to the top of the search results on LinkedIn is not just about getting more customers. It's also a great way to land speaking gigs. How would you like to land a speaking gig that's an all-expense-paid trip to Cabo, and they're going to give you $10,000 to show up for 1 hour and talk about your area of expertise in business? Would you be interested in that? Give me a yes in the chat box if that's something that you would like to do or would be interested in doing. Seeing many, many yeses pouring in here. Well, take a look at this. This is my client and friend we looked at earlier, Vivica Von Rosen. I helped her get to the top of the search results for the keyword phrase social media speaker, and that's exactly what happened for her. In fact, when they called her, they said, we want to give you an all-expense-paid trip to Cabo. She actually said, I'll take it. When is it? I'll do it. Before they even told her that they were going to give her the $10,000. She almost blew the deal. If they were smart, they would have realized she would have done it just for the trip. That conferences have realized that LinkedIn is the #1 place for them to go to get speakers. And the conferences that are paying for the speakers, the conferences in the corporate world, want people like you that will come and speak on your area of expertise. You just need to show up in the LinkedIn search results so that they can find you. So here's how you do it. You want to put your keywords into these strategic places in your LinkedIn profile. Now your keywords are the words that you would want to show up in the search results for. And LinkedIn, very simply, compared to Google SEO, it's very simple. They assign more weight to the words that are in these 5 places. So when you put your keyword phrase in these 5 places, you get a weighted score and will be ranking as high as you possibly can at the search results. Your subconscious is taking this in if you're engaging with me right now. That's why it's important that you're engaging. Now realize there is a big difference in the search results. The optimizations is only half the battle. What happens on LinkedIn is that the searcher does not get to search the entire database. So if I'm the conference and I'm searching, I only get to search through my network and 3 levels deep of how my network extends. I don't get to search through everyone on LinkedIn to find the conference speaker. Same thing goes for a customer who's searching. And so no matter how big me, the searcher, has built my network, If you've isolated your network or not yet invested in really building your network out, no one is going to find you on LinkedIn. You'll essentially be invisible no matter how well optimized you are, no matter how well you've written your profile into a selling machine. No one can find you unless you share a connection with them. And that takes some work. You've got to make an effort to build out your network. Because LinkedIn has over 250 million members. And while you may have, for example, 2.5 million members in your network, that actually means you're missing out on 99% of the action, 99% of the hiring and the dollars being exchanged you're missing out on because they cannot find you. So now I worked with this client, as you can see in this before and after case study, and helped them build out their networks to where they had over 47 million people in reach. And I'm going to show you exactly how we did this so that you can do this. You see there's a shortcut so that instead of showing up in almost none of the searches, there's an easy way for you to show up in all of the searches. And the shortcut is to add what's called super connectors to your network. I'm an example of a super connector. Let me explain to you what that means. You're looking at the screen here at my first and second level connections. Well, this minute you connect with me, right, it takes you a second to connect with me. My first and second level connections become now your second and third level connections. You get them all from me. So you're adding almost 4 million people to the depth of your network. For many of you, this would double or quadruple the depth of your network just by connecting with me. One super connector. Now, I'm not telling you this just so you connect with me. I'm telling you this so that a light bulb goes off. Aha! What I've got to do is find a handful of super connectors like Greig, and if each of them brings several million people to my network, now I can have this reach into the multi-millions, and potential customers can find me and conferences can find me. If you get the power of super connectors, put the word super into the chat box. If you're not clear on how this would help you connecting with super connectors, or if you're still thinking, I don't know, I only might want to connect with people I really know, put no into the chat box, and we'll spend an extra minute on this topic. I'm seeing almost everyone putting super into the chat box here. Fantastic. So how do we find the super connectors? Well, you only need a handful of them. 50 to 100 super connectors can skyrocket your network into 50 to 100 million connections. Now, LinkedIn used to allow you to search and find the super connectors by sorting by number of connections. You see that there on the screen? But a screenshot from last year, LinkedIn took that feature away. There is now no longer any way to find the super connectors using just LinkedIn itself. Lucky for you, I have already identified who the top 100 super connectors are on LinkedIn. And as your reward for staying till the very end of our training today through the Q&A, and by the way, we'll be having a full-blown Q&A where I'll answer your questions and help you in any way that I can today. At the very end of the Q&A, I will show you how to get access to the super connectors so that you can skyrocket your network into the multi-millions. So who's searching for you on LinkedIn? Once you have the super connectors, who will find you? Well, potential clients. If you've never had a client find you yet on LinkedIn, it's because you just aren't connected to any potential clients on any of your 3 levels. You need to expand your network, and the clients will find you. Publishers for book deals. This is how Jack Canfield's people found me. Conferences. If you've never been asked to speak on LinkedIn, don't walk away with the limiting belief that that's not happening on LinkedIn. It's happening for lots of people who are being found by the conferences. You need the super connectors in order for them to find you. And here's the real icing on the cake. The media. The media, like NBC and ABC, now consider LinkedIn the #1 place for them to go to get business experts to interview. And of course they would. Where else would they go? There's 250 million professionals on LinkedIn. It's a huge database of media sources. The media loves LinkedIn for quotes about business articles or topics, for interviews on business topics, for magazine appearances. But there's a catch-22 when it comes to being found by the media on LinkedIn. You see, even if the media were to find you today, why do you think they would be very unlikely to contact you and put you into the media? Tell me in the chat box, because I know many of you are very business savvy and will get this. Why do you think, even if they did find you right now, that they would not contact you? Why do you think they've never contacted you yet? I bet there aren't too many people here that have been contacted by the media on LinkedIn yet, but it's happening all the time. And I'm seeing many of you getting it in the chat box here. It's not just that you don't have the authority or the experience. It's not about money or prestige. From the media's point of view, it's about risk. You are seen as a risk to them. They can't risk putting you on live TV if you've never been on live TV, because what if you embarrass them accidentally or on purpose? What if you start like pitching your shit instead of like being a professional? They can't take that chance. Why would they take that chance when right next to you on LinkedIn, they can see somebody that's got a profile picture like mine in the bottom right corner here, and they can just simply see this other guy who does the same thing has been all over the media already. Why would we take a chance on somebody new and take that risk and risk our own jobs, risk the person that you're picking you getting fired because you screwed up and they picked you? They're not going to take that risk. And that's why the rich get richer when it comes to major media exposure. That's why it's called a catch-22, because it's kind of like, I want that media, I deserve that media exposure, but I can never get it until I've got it. So how do I break into that inner circle? How did you do it, Greg? I'm going to show you how I did it. And just as a case in point, I would have never gotten onto this nationally syndicated TV show on NBC without first having media credentials. This was daytime talk show. It was syndicated live into 14 different major networks. Over 3 million people saw this. It's the single biggest day in the history of my business. In one day, we had millions of people, thousands of leads coming to us from one TV media exposure like this. But they're not going to risk putting somebody on that's never been on TV before. The same thing with the book deal. Jack Canfield's editors were not going to risk their job and their reputation on one of those other authors who had never been in the major media. They saw me and it was risk-free. And that's why they chose me. And that's why the rich get richer once you are into the major media and break into the inner circle. So here's how I did it. I went to a pay-to-play site and got what's called a media citation. I went to Top Recommended Professionals, and I got what's called a media citation. Write this down right now. This is probably the most important thing you're going to learn today, or strategy, what a media citation is. You're learning now about what a media citation is. A media citation is when you leverage the relationship that someone else has. They have connections at this media source, and they get you quoted onto the media's web page. In this example here, you're seeing where a client got quoted onto an abc.com web page. So after getting this citation, the citation is just a quote either about you or from you. But once you're quoted onto ABC's web page, you can now legally and ethically say, as seen on ABC, because you were. In this case, Joe was seen on ABC's web page. Now he can use those logos in his profile picture and in his marketing. It's very powerful. And the media source that I went through was able to get me into all 4 of these major networks, CBS, ABC, NBC, and Fox. Once you've been on the big 4, you can write your own ticket with regards to getting media exposure. In fact, after I did this, it was just a matter of time till CNN came knocking. The Wall Street Journal wanted to do an article with me, Fast Company magazine. It all opened up once I had these big 4 networks. These are the most well-known networks. They've been the TV networks for the longest time. They're even well-known worldwide. You know, I get people in other countries asking me, the UK, for example, Greg, would it be better for me to be on the BBC or better for me to be on a US network? Well, for exposure in your local market, yes, you would want to be on the BBC. But for authority, you would want to be on one of the big US networks. Because just picture if they're in the UK and they're a potential client and they see, here's one guy who's been on just the BBC. Here's the next guy next to him who does the same thing, and he's been on all 4 of these U.S. networks. It's awfully hard for somebody in the U.K. or any other country to get into the U.S. major media. This guy must be legit. This is the authority, not the guy that just went on to the BBC. Anybody can, can do that. So in terms of authority, these are the big 4 that write your ticket that you want to get into. And using a citation is a way to pay to play. It was several $1,000s, but it was well worth it. Remember we said earlier it's priceless would be the value. You told me it would be worth tens of thousands of dollars to any business to be able to get into the guaranteed, into these big 4 media sources. Well, you can do that using a media citation. That's what a media citation is. If you get what a media citation is and how it would help you and your business and your future, your life, to get this, put the phrase citation into the chat box right now. If you're not 100% clear on what a citation is or how it works, let me know. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to call anyone out. I want to keep building on our concepts here. I don't want to leave anyone behind. I also don't want to spend time on stuff that everybody's getting. So for those, once you have the citations, by the way, then and only then can you say as seen on. And you can use those logos because it's 100% a fact. You were seen on those sites. So more importantly, once you become a quoted expert, once you have that quote into the major media, you now have something your competition doesn't have. And you're going to get customers choosing you. You're going to now be perceived as the authority. So this is how you're going to get the TV and the radio and the magazine interviews. And media citations, let's be real clear about what they are and what they aren't, because that's what we're learning about right now. They are a conversion strategy. Write that down. They are not a traffic and exposure strategy. What I mean by that is having this authority from media citations will get more clients likely to choose you. It will get you more likely to get paid speaking gigs and book deals because you're going to be seen as the authority. It will ultimately lead to more media exposure. It will lead to radio interviews or talk show TV interviews or magazine articles. That's where the real exposure is. The citation itself is not a traffic strategy, not an exposure strategy. I'm a straight shooter with you. I'm being upfront about what it is, what the pluses are about a citation is, and what a citation is not. And then where they put these citations is in the archives on the ABC webpage, where not a lot of people are going to see it. The point of doing this is to be able to say, I've been seen on ABC. That's what makes the citation so powerful for you. So once you have these citations, bottom line is you stand out. You stand out in the search results on LinkedIn, but this is not just about LinkedIn. This is so much bigger. Now in your web page, you can use those media logos and say as seen on. In your business card, think about every person you give your card to. If they now saw that you were featured in the major media, they would be much more likely to choose you and do business with you. Authority citations, I will go so far as to say, is getting a citation. It is the most important thing you can do on LinkedIn. The number one thing you can do. You should circle media citation right now and make it a goal in your notes for you to get these citations, especially if you're planning to do business on LinkedIn or anywhere in social media, because when you put those logos into your profile picture on LinkedIn or Facebook, it changes everything. It changes how people look at you. It captures their eye instantly. It triggers everything we've learned today is triggered by them seeing your picture and having that instant feeling that you're the authority. And it will make your LinkedIn and your Facebook so much more successful for you. And if you want more proof of that, let's look at what Frank Kern had to say about authority. Positioning yourself as an authority is the single most important thing you can do to increase your perceived value to your marketplace. And it absolutely is. It's authority is how you can charge more and how you get more people to choose you. Now, you might be thinking, what about saturation? Well, you might be thinking, well, if I can just go pay somewhere to get a citation and get into the major media, won't that eventually become diluted? Doesn't that somehow devalue those of us that have actually been in the major media? And the answer is no. And you tell me, why is this not a problem? Why is dilution not a problem? Why with close to 250 people here today, why even if all 250 of us went and did this, got a media citation, and had these authority logos, why would we still not be diluting the value of this? I'm seeing some of you getting it in the chat box. It's because there's over 250 million people on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is only a fraction of all the businesses that are in the world. There's no way that this could ever become diluted. Not to mention, not everyone who's here is going to take action. Not everyone who's here has a couple $1,000s per network to invest in going and doing this. Not everyone here is going to get nominated. To go through the site I went through, you have to be nominated. So it's just, there's no way that this could ever reach a point where it feels like it's watered down or everybody has the logos. By the way, don't use the logos if you haven't actually been in the major media. That will get you into trouble. You do need to be able to prove that you were cited on an actual ABC and NBC webpage. Now here's where this gets really interesting. Read along with me this message on the screen. I find this the most interesting part of what I've taught you here today. This message came from one of my contacts on LinkedIn, kind of out of the blue one day last year. He said to me, "Hi, Greg, I noticed the media logos for ABC, Fox, CBS, and NBC on your profile picture. If you don't mind, I was wondering, how can I get those from my profile picture so I can create more authority for my business?" If you're business savvy, a little light bulb should be going off here, the way it did for me. This message wound up going on to change my life. Because what I realized is this is someone on LinkedIn seeing that I've got these logos on my LinkedIn profile and asking me, "Hey, Greg, can you hook me up with however you did that? Can I pay you money to help me do that?" Now, I don't know about you, but if I would love to be in a business where I don't actually have to sell something, where people just see me doing it and they want it, and that's exactly what's happening here. I wasn't even trying to sell this authority package at the time. I just had the picture in my profile. I had the logos in my profile picture. And here's somebody asking to give me money because they want this. They know it's valuable to be in the authority. Of course, it's super valuable for this person's business. They want the same hookup that I had. The thought of being in a business where I don't actually have to sell something, where people want it just from seeing that I have it, really opened my eyes and set off a light bulb for me, and I'm glad to see so many of you are getting this. So very simply, all I did was I added this pre-sale statement to my LinkedIn profile. I already had lots of people looking at my LinkedIn profile every day. I use our software to do that, and I'm going to show you how about that software during the Q&A. You're going to love that. And that's how I had all these people looking at my profile every day for my main business, helping the job seekers. And I just added this second pre-sale statement. And I started selling this authority package right from my LinkedIn profile without me ever needing to talk to anyone. They just saw that I had it. They saw that I could solve this problem for them. That's what we're doing. We're in the business of solving problems, and they land on my call to action where they go and buy it for several $1,000s right from my LinkedIn profile. Well, so far today we have covered the 3-word sentence you must use to turn your profile into a selling machine. I gave you that framework. Then I gave you fill in the blank, the 3 best calls to action to get people to buy right from your LinkedIn profile. Now, I've just shown you how to have people interested in paying you money just to do that logo thing to their LinkedIn profile that you're going to get done to yours. We also covered how to expand your reach by almost 20 times on LinkedIn. You're going to leverage super connectors. And at the end of the Q&A, I'm going to show you how to get access to the super connectors. That's your reward for staying with us today. I showed you how to land keynote speaking opportunities, how to generate views, that sneaky strategy of just going out and viewing your target audience, and then how to convert those views into buyers by having authority. That's the most important part. So what's next? Well, you need to optimize your profile. It's just a fancy way of saying you need to go out and do the stuff I've shown you how to do today. And if this gets you just one more client, how much would that be worth to you? We've established that that would be well worth your time today. On top of that, if you increase your presence in the search results by increasing your connections with the super connectors and now land just a second client, you've now doubled the return on the investment of your expectations here today. The most important thing you learned today is what a media citation is and how to use a media citation to get into the big four: NBC, Fox, ABC, and CBS, because this will really supercharge your business and revenue opportunity. What's left would be to figure out a great monetization strategy for you on LinkedIn. So here are your choices. Choice number one, you can go at this alone based just off the information we went over on the webinar today. Or choice number two, you can take a look at something I've put together for you to give you the most unfair advantage possible on LinkedIn. And that's where I'd like to introduce you to what I call LinkedInception. Is LinkedInception a training course? Well, not quite. Is it a mastermind where you meet personally live in person with me? Is it a coaching program with me? Is it a done-for-you program? Is there a software element to it? The reason I say not quite for each of these things is that the LinkedInception program includes all of these things. And with all of these things, you have everything you need to dominate and cash in on LinkedIn. So let's start with the training. I'm not somebody who believes in overwhelming you with hours and hours of training. I know you don't have time for that. I've boiled down my training to 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, I will give you the best training you've ever had on LinkedIn. It's exactly what to say and do to get sales from the people that are looking at you. You've seen my teaching style. You've seen how I make it fill in the blank. This will be fill in the blank money coming to you right from LinkedIn. On top of that, I'm going to include 5 group coaching webinars so that if you have any questions on the training, I'm there to answer and support you and make sure you get this right and succeed with it and wind up making money with this. Now, it gets better. Remember, in order to trigger and get everything working for you on LinkedIn, you've got to get those media citations. Well, I formed a partnership with Top Recommended Professionals so that you don't have to be nominated, don't have to go to them and pay $1,000 per network, and we're able to guarantee placement into all 4 of these media networks. That's right, you will be cited and able to use the logos for CBS, ABC, NBC, and Fox. I will get you a media citation, and you will be recommended as a top recommended business or professional. It'll look exactly like this. Once I did this, that's when it all started to snowball. That's when CNN and Wall Street Journal kept calling. That's when Fast Company magazine came to me for the article and featured me. That's when I got on TV. And that's when the real traffic and exposure started to come. But without those citations, without breaking into the inner circle, I would have never gotten any of this. I would have been a risk. And you're seen as being too risky right now. You'll never get into the major media unless you use a citation to break into the big 4 the way I did. Book deals will start to come to you once you have once you're in the big 4. You can write your own ticket. So this is a complete done-for-you program. Not only do we guarantee to get you cited into all 4 networks, we do the Photoshop work for you. We add the logos to your profile picture for you. So it's a complete done-for-you package. Now, remember earlier I showed you how just having these logos can get people asking to hire you to do that for their LinkedIn profile. Once you have these logos, you're going to get people sending you this very same message on LinkedIn. That's how it happens. So envision the opportunity. What if you could offer this same authority package to anyone in your LinkedIn network or anyone in your market, to all of your potential customers and existing clients? Well, you can. And best of all, my team will do all the work for you. This is the $100 bills that are on the ground waiting to be picked up. People on LinkedIn want this media authority. You will now have the ability to hook them up with it, and you don't have to do any of the work. My team does all the work getting them into the major media. So even if you're not currently offering services, this is a service that you should strongly consider. As a reseller, you'll have exclusive rights to get your clients these media citations, and then they can use those citations anywhere in their marketing. This is not about convincing businesses to use LinkedIn. realize this opportunity and this business of being able to provide authority is so much bigger than LinkedIn. You could go to a restaurant and help that restaurant get the authority logos on their menu, on their fan page, on their web page, in their storefront. They could get cited as the top Italian restaurant in Tampa Bay. That's what I did for the place that I go and eat at, and they love me now for it. As a reseller, you're able to offer placement into all 4 of the networks. You can charge whatever you want. The minimum amount you can charge is $1,000. When you do this, you pay us just $200 to cover our costs, and you keep the rest of the profits. That's $800 you're making every time. For a business like a restaurant or a well-established business, investing $1,000 to get this type of authority and exposure in the major media is a no-brainer to any established business. We've established it has priceless value because they have that for the rest of their life. If you want proof, take a look at Derby Perez. He just got started with us a few weeks ago. He says, I got 2 deals yesterday. I got one for $1K and another for $1,500. Just raised my prices to $2,500. He's charging $2,500 and has 3 appointments to present this. And his cost is $200 to do this every time. Now, to ensure your success, I'm also going to include with the LinkedInception program a live mastermind and training with me 4 times a year, where we'll put your business into hot seat sessions, and I'll work personally, live in person with you to help you succeed as a reseller of the Authority program. Members in my mastermind are paying $2,000 per session or $8,000 per year to come to this to get my live help, to get help from a 7-figure proven internet marketer like myself. Why am I including this for you? Because when you become a reseller of this Authority package, we're in business together. When you pay me that $200, we make some money from that every time. I'm a straight shooter with you. I'm not afraid to tell you that. We're partners. You're making the bulk of the money. You're making $800 every time, but we're making some money every time too, and it's a volume play for us. And that's why I'm inviting you to my private mastermind. There'll be probably 20 to 30 people at each of these sessions, including you, where you'll get my personal help to ensure your success. Our next session is coming up in August in Tampa. I strongly recommend you get in now so you can come to that. So what's your investment? Well, let me ask you this. What would you pay a PR firm to go out and get these media citations? What's the going rate? Those of you that have tried a publicist or a PR firm. I know I was paying my publicist $2,000 a month when I was working with one. And they told me up front, they said, Greg, we can't guarantee you a thing. And you know what? They couldn't guarantee me a thing. And they didn't get me into any of the major media. They got me a couple local interviews on radio and some website articles that really did nothing for me in terms of my authority. And I spent $6,000 with them. So that really establishes a baseline for the value of what these citations are worth. Now, on top of that, you're getting the ability to resell this. You may just want to hook up your friends with it. You may, when somebody asks you about it, you may just introduce them to me and let me take over from there and do all the work. You're still making your $800 every time. You may just want to recoup your investment with this, or you may see the potential in this in a way that you can roll this into your existing business to get even more clients and make this a large part of your future in your business, especially since we're doing all the work for you. We're doing all the fulfillment. So if you take a look at the value of what you're getting, just getting the citations for yourself and your business, what that would mean to your future, it's got to be an easy $6,000 value, because that's what you would pay a publicist. On top of that, having the ability to resell this and make money from this, then you're getting to come meet live in person with me in a small group mastermind. I don't know if you've seen any of these high-ticket masterminds going around. You know, they're $8,000 to $20,000. That's the same caliber of mastermind that I'm including here. And you're getting my best LinkedIn training and 5 coaching webinars with me to make sure you get it right. So here's the deal. This would be a great deal to invest $19.97 for this program. That's what other programs of this sort are going for, because this includes training, coaching, masterminding. It has a done-for-you element. Oh, we haven't even talked about the software yet. You're going to love that. It's just the icing on the cake. So it's $19.97 just based on what this would do for your business alone, this would be a great deal, not even counting the reseller opportunity. The special offer of $9.97 is a tremendous deal because the value of this program is worth 10 times that. In everything I do, I try to give my clients and customers 10 times the value of what they're investing in me. That's why my customers and clients are so satisfied. Now, because you are friends and followers of mine, and I know that you're the type of person that I'm wanting to partner with and that I could make money with together on this in the long run, I'm going to give you the very best deal possible, the best price we've ever offered this at or ever will offer this at. I'm going to give you everything we've talked about here today for $7.97. Just one authority package that you hook up one of your friends with more than covers back your investment. Now, there is a catch with this super special deal, though. As you guys have seen today, I'm a straight shooter with you. I'm very upfront. I'm not afraid to tell you there is a catch when something is this good to be true. By the way, the link to get this is linkedinception.com/go. The moderators are putting that in the chat box for you right now so that you can easily copy and paste or click on it. linkedinception.com/go is where you want to go right now to get this deal. But here's the catch. This special one-time investment of $7.97 for everything is only available to a very limited number of enrollments. Because I will be coaching you in the live mastermind, we cannot take on everyone who's going to want to do this. I'm sure just like you're thinking about doing this right now, all of the people that are here with us right now, close to 250 people, are thinking about doing this. We're only going to be able to take those of you that act now. Once we hit capacity, do not ask me to make a special exception because I will not be able to do it. That's how I'm able to ensure that this is exclusive, not watered down, and that's how I'm able to ensure that I can give you the best coaching and mastermind when we work together live doing this. LinkedInception.com/go is where you need to go right now to claim your spot in the LinkedInception program. It's easy to get started. Once you get there, you very simply click on the Add to Cart button. We've also set up a three-pay option. Now, with the three-pay option, you're just paying our normal price of $9.97. There's no additional finance charges. You are getting an additional $200 savings when you pay in full right now at $7.97. You'll also see on that webpage a summary of everything that's included with our program. There's some special bonuses that we haven't even talked about yet that we'll be getting to once we get through the Q&A, which is coming up next. So go now to linkedinception.com/go. $297 gets you in the game. Doesn't get any better than that. That 3 payments of $297 gets you in the game where you're getting these citations and authority done for you, and then you've got the ability to go out and start making money back. Once you get there, you want to click on Add to Cart. You'll see we do use PayPal as our merchant processing company, but you do not have to pay with PayPal. We take all major credit cards. MasterCard and Visa are welcome. You just want to click on that link where you're seeing the gray arrow there where it says pay with a debit card or credit card. $297 gets you started with everything we've covered here today. That's 3 payments of $297 when you go now to linkedinception.com/go. You are going to love being in the business of providing authority for your clients. Here's why. You're helping your clients get more out of the existing traffic and exposure they're already getting. This is the fastest way to put real dollars into real business owners' hands. That restaurant that you helped get this authority, the day they get this, they're going to start making more money. It's not like they're buying SEO from you or something that takes a long time to pay off. They're going to have more people choosing them the day they buy this. That's why they're going to love you. Also, they just do this once with you, and it pays off for them forever. That's another reason they're going to love you. But here is the real kicker. When you help somebody get into the major media, you will have an emotional connection with them forever. They will love you. They will thank you. They will want to do more business with you. If you provide any other sort of consulting or coaching or anything that they can refer people to you, they are going to refer people to you. You know why? It's because being in the major media strokes their ego. It's not just about helping them show off to their friends and family. Yeah, you can go to doctors and lawyers and people with big egos. They love this because it helps them show off. But I know that's not you and that's not me. We're very humble. But I got to tell you something. The day my daughter saw me on TV, it changed my life forever. Just to hear, this was almost a year ago now, she saw me on TV. And just last weekend when her friends were coming over and I was meeting them, she said to them, "This is my daddy. He was on TV." To know that my daughter is proud of me because and being on TV is something that kids can understand, and that she's telling her friends about that, and that's important to her. To know that she's proud of her family like that, that is priceless. And that's what you get when you've done this. That's how your children and your parents and family will look at you. But better than that is you now have that power in your hands. That's a power you can't take lightly. To be able to give that gift to other people's lives, to help them in their business and help them have their children look at them in a different, better way, that is a business that's fun to be in, that's rewarding to be in. And that's what I want to partner with you in this business for, to help more people, to add more value to more people's businesses and to more people's lives. There is also a lot of people out there that are scared to death to be in the major media. They are camera shy. You know, there's a saying that public speaking is a bigger fear than death. It's a well-known saying. Now, that may not be you and I. We're okay with being in the media. But there are a lot of people that have decided, look, I'm never going to be in the spotlight. That's not my thing. I could never face the cameras and be on NBC TV. You are their dream come true. I have helped people do this that are scared of public speaking, and they love me now. If you want your clients and customers to love you when you're the guy that helps them get into the major media, they love you. So LinkedInception.com/go is your place to get in on this and join me in this and become partners with me. You'll join these success stories. These are people like you sharing how they've done it. I love the one in the bottom left here from Maggie. It says, "Just had someone call me because I referred a client to their services and ended up selling my first media package. Love it when they come to me, working in my PJs once again, LOL." You know, all Maggie does is introduces people, makes referrals, and all she does is hook them up with this media program. This isn't something you have to sell. Not only do people on LinkedIn just come asking you for it, you can easily bring this up in any conversation. Maggie was telling me that she was at her family physician doctor and started talking about how she got in the major media. And the doctor said, "Well, that's pretty cool. I'd love that." And she said, "Well, okay, I can hook you up. I can introduce you to my guy, Greg." And she wasn't selling him anything. He didn't feel like he was being sold. He was very happy that she was getting a hookup from her. And we did all the work. And he paid us $1,000 and was thrilled that she got $800, and he never even knew it. And we made our $200, and we were happy too. This isn't selling. It's hooking people up. It's hooking up your friends and business people you come in contact with because they're happy to get this deal. They don't know about media citations. They're thrilled that you can help them get into the major media and get a media citation. Don't let your own self-doubts about yourself hold you back from doing this. Don't be wondering, hey, I don't know if I deserve to be in the major media. You know, what would they ever want to write about me? We will help you get quoted into the major media no matter what type of business you're in. And if you're not in a business, we'll design a quote around how you're somebody who is a media reseller. We'll get you cited. You deserve this authority just like anyone else does. And this is your chance to get it. This is your chance to get ahead. Now, as a special bonus, when you sign up before this special offer expires, I told you I would show you how to get access to all of the top super connectors on LinkedIn. You need these super connectors because even once you have the media authority, The media that's looking to put you in interviews and magazines and on TV, they still won't be able to find you unless you have these super connectors. This is why you need this to go with the authority. If you're thinking I've already been in the media, I'm not sure if I need this, or if you're thinking I could go out and get in the media on my own, you won't happen without these super connectors. And that's why I'm including this. That's why I promised I would show you how to get the super connectors. So now I can't just tell you who the super connectors are. They're only going to accept your invitation by me in recommending you to the super connectors. So what I've done is I've built a partnership with all of the top 100 super connectors on LinkedIn. They've agreed to accept the invitations from all of our LinkedInception clients. I notify them that you're coming. You send them an invite, and they accept it. Now, there's no way we could do this for everyone. I'd love to help everyone do it, but the super connectors can't take everyone. And there's a limit to how many connections you can have on LinkedIn. 30,000 is the maximum. If you join, and when you join our LinkedInception program, you will get connected to the top 100 super connectors. That's what you need to expand your networks effortlessly, and it's included. So let's recap everything you're getting here today. For the one single investment, it's $797 or 3 payments of $297. You're getting guaranteed done for your citations for yourself, for your business. This alone makes this program a no-brainer, just because of the authority that you're going to have. You're going to have this for the rest of your life. If all you did was get this for yourself, this would be a strong, worthwhile investment. Then you're having the ability to resell this. This could take your business to another level like it's done for me. Or if you feel like I don't have time for this, it could be something you just do occasionally to hook up your friends to make some extra money, to make back your investment. Then you've got the private mastermind. This is my high-ticket mastermind. You don't pay anything to come to this other than your travel costs to come out and meet with us. We're meeting in Tampa in August. We're meeting on a cruise in October. This is a legit $8,000 value. That's what others are paying for this. You're getting this because we're partners now. That's why it behooves me to have you come to the mastermind and help you go to the next level as a reseller. Then you're getting my best LinkedIn training and the coaching webinars, and you're getting introductions to all of my super connectors. A priceless value on this, not something that we can give away or take lightly. LinkedInception.com/go is where you go now to get everything we've covered here today. When you sign up now, you are protected by a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If you aren't satisfied, neither am I. For any reason or no reason at all, just contact us and let us know, and we'll return every penny of your investment. This means you are 100% protected. You have only the opportunity for gain when you sign up now and go now to LinkedInception.com. You can do the 3 payments of $297. You can have your authority citations, and if it doesn't change the way people look at you and lead to more money coming into your business in those first 30 days, if it doesn't pay for itself, no problem, no questions asked. I'll gladly give you your money back. Why? Because I know that this is going to work for you, and because I don't want to have you in our mastermind. If this isn't working for you, then we don't have a spot for you in our mastermind. So no hard feelings at all from my end. I'm a straight shooter with you guys, as you've seen here today. And so this means the real risk is really on me, because I got to go out and spend the time and money to get your citation done. There are hard costs that go into getting this done. And I do that whether you decide you want to keep it or not. I don't get that money back. Why am I willing to take that risk? Why am I willing to invest in you? Because I know that once you see this and get some momentum with people wanting to buy this from you, you're going to stick with it. And that's where we're going to make our real money together. Now, of course, if you decide that this isn't for you, we would take down your citations. It wouldn't be fair for you to keep your citations, and you wouldn't then be able to use those media logos. You would lose all of that authority. But if the authority's not working for you, no questions asked. You're protected. You have only the opportunity for gain here. It's 3 payments of $297. That's the payment plan that's set up right now. You're not paying anything additional other than our regular price by doing the 3 payment plan. So here's what you get. For the one single investment of $797 right now, you're saving $200 by paying in full right now, and you have that same 30-day money-back guarantee. You're getting the done-for-you media citations for yourself. You're getting the ability to resell this. You're getting the private mastermind with me live, not just once, but 4 times a year. You're getting the coaching webinars and my best LinkedIn training, introductions to all of my super connectors, and you're protected by a 30-day money-back guarantee when you go now to linkedinception.com/go. Now, the absolute icing on the cake is next, the software. Remember earlier, I showed you a very simple way to get exposure to your profile. You simply view other people's profiles, and then a percentage would come back and view your optimized profile. Now, this works tremendously well. It's just slow. It's a manual process. And that's why we've built the software that with a few clicks of a button, you can view up to 1,000 profiles per day. Now, you're not just going to go view anyone's profile. You're going to view your exact perfect target audience. And then what are they going to do? They've been trained. They're being taught by everyone that they need to come back and view you. And when they come back and view you, they're going to see that you've got that authority logos, so they're going to be more willing to listen to you now. They're going to see your pre-sale statement for whatever your primary business is. And then right underneath that, they're going to see a pre-sale statement where they can buy the authority package from you. And many of them are going to buy just from reading that in your LinkedIn profile, because you will have written your profile in a right way that speaks to them congruently now. So this is free and instant traffic. The software is not available for sale separately. It's only available to our resellers. Remember, for every 100 people you view, on average 7 view you back. And that may not sound like a lot, but the software, which takes just a few minutes to run, can generate 70 targeted views per day. That's 70 leads of your exact target audience. Not random leads, your exact target audience. Viewing your profile, written with that pre-sale statement, so that they buy from your primary business and buy this authority package. 70 people a day. That adds up to 25,000 views a year. Here's an example of the results you'll get. Look at this. It says 73 people viewed my profile in this one day. How is that possible? How did I get that many views? I only showed up in 35 searches. Where did those other 38 views come from? They came from the software. And that's how the software works. And then these are leads. You simply message these people. In my training, I give you the exact script. You copy and paste and adapt it for your business. You've seen my teaching style. It's fill in the blank, copy and paste. And a percentage of these people consistently buy from you. If you want proof, when we first rolled out the software, we had 14 sales in 7 days of our Media Authority package. You'll join these success stories once you have our software. You'll use the software to generate leads for your primary business and to generate leads for your authority business. Here's exactly how the software works. You run the search on LinkedIn. So you have all of LinkedIn's powerful search features, and then you just press the start button. You see that in the top left? The software is a browser plugin. It runs in Chrome or Firefox, so it runs on PC or Mac. All you do is set the search. It takes about 5 or 6 minutes a day. You do have to go in and set it up every day and press start. And then it runs in the background. You can go about your day doing your work, doing whatever you do, using your computer. The software runs in the background, generating the views for you. And of course, once they see that you viewed them, they're going to come back and view you. They're going to see you with this pre-sale statement, just like you're seeing on the screen here. And often people will be willing to throw money at you. Now we're going to be going next into the Q&A. And I want to first help those of you that are thinking about joining our program, because we are close to capacity right now. And so I want to help you make that decision. So what I'd like you to do is input into the chat box if you've joined us, or if you have questions about joining us, or if you have any hesitations about joining us. I would love to hear from you as well. I'm not going to call anyone out or embarrass anyone, but I just can't imagine a reason, if you're in business, why you wouldn't want to be in this business, why you wouldn't want to have this authority and then be able to hook up your existing customers and clients with this. You can also create recurring revenue with this. Many of your clients will sign up for a monthly package. So now they're paying you $1,000 a month and you're making $800 a month. We'll cover that. We've had so many success stories from people just like you. Here's Eric saying, sold my first package today. Dion says, in the last few days, I have a client who's ready to buy now. Holly says, I had someone message me on Facebook to find out how I did it. This is so much bigger than just LinkedIn. This is about helping people get authority and giving people what they want. You're giving people what they want. Most of us go into business trying to help people with what they need, but people want this authority. It's because it's not just about their business, it's about their ego. And it's not just about making money. It's about being in a business where you're adding value to the world and being in a business that runs itself. The software does the marketing. Your profile does the selling. You don't need a web page. You don't need anything else. It runs itself on autopilot. This is how I was able to live my dream over the past year of following Tony Robbins around the world. I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan. This is the people I love most at his Firewalk event, including my 12-year-old daughter. And being able to do these kinds of things with her because the transactions and customers were coming in while I was away, while I was traveling. This is your chance to do something like this because you're doing exactly what I'm doing. You see, the software can only view 1,000 people per day. That's all LinkedIn's API allows. If the software could view unlimited people per day, believe me, I wouldn't be sharing it with you. And I often wonder about that with many people who have these so-called secrets that they try to sell you. I wonder, why don't they just keep those secrets to themselves and go do this themselves? Well, I've been doing this myself, and it works, and you've seen the proof of that with my income and my success. But I can only do 1,000 people per day with the software. I need you. I need partners in order to scale this bigger and take this to another level. And that's why I'm opening up my doors with this opportunity to partner with me and join me. And that's why I'm vested in your success like no other opportunity there is. LinkedInception.com/go. Go there now to claim your spot. You're getting everything we've talked about here today, including the software. Someone put into the chat box that the only reason they can't do this is they just can't afford it right now, even at the $297 per month. Take a look at what Michael did. He was in the same situation as you. And he said, get this, while the webinar was ongoing, I picked up the phone and called a client and told them they had to get this. It was their only chance to get this authority. And then I sent them a PayPal invoice for $9.95, told them it had to be today to get the deal, and had their money in my PayPal account by the end of the webinar. This is a no-brainer. I'm excited to add this for our clients to help build online authority. Are you getting this? This is so smart. You could do this. Michael hooked up one of his clients. You could hook up one of your friends. You could message a friend right now on a text and say, Jim, I just got a chance to get us both into the major media. Your cost for doing it is just $1,000. And then you take that $1,000 that he gives you, which he's going to be thrilled to give you to get into major media. Are you kidding me? You take that $1,000, you pay your $797, and you pay your $200 for his. You've paid for both, and everyone comes out happy. Now, as an absolute icing on the cake, this is something I was almost ready to take out because we've almost hit our first 100 resellers. But I want to put this in there for you because I know we have some people here today that are maybe not consider themselves salesy people. Here's what I'm going to do. This is for the first 100 people that join us, not from today, but total, and I'll update the web page once we hit this, is I will close your first deal for you, me personally. What this means is if you get somebody on LinkedIn that messages you and says, hey, I'm interested in this, but I have some questions. All you do is set up a three-way call where you, me, and the person that messaged you, and keep in mind, they're coming to you just from you running the software and having this. You're not really doing anything else. You set up a three-way call. You introduce me as your guy, and I do all the talking. I close the deal. and it's not even a 50-50 split. When I close the deal and they pay the $1,000, you keep $800, I keep $200. Now, why am I doing that? Because I know once you get some momentum with this, you're going to continue to do it. And then I'm going to make the $200 every time without me needing to be there. I know once you see me do this, you'll have the confidence that you can do it, because you will also build the skills from watching me do it. I use a very simple close called the 5 why close. I teach it to you in my training, and you'll see me do it live on this call. I literally just ask the question why 5 times. It's so simple, it's genius. It's a famous close. You can Google it later on, but it works especially well with this authority package. It gets down to the root of why they might not want to do this. And then they always wind up doing it once they answer that question. So why aren't you doing this? If I'm willing to put myself on the line for you, I'm literally signing up for 100 sales appointments right now that I'm willing to deliver for you. That's how vested I am in this. Don't let your doubts in yourself hold you back from doing this. That's the only reason I can see why you wouldn't want to do this, is you feel like, I just don't know if it would work for me. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm worthy of being in the media. I don't know if people will believe me of being in the media. All you're doing is introducing them to me. This is my guy. This is my hookup. And he does it from here. That's something you can do. And that's why you've got to go now to linkedinception.com/go. Okay, let's go next into the Q&A. I know my moderators have been trying to keep up with your questions, and we've got a lot of good questions in the chat box, and I want to dive into those right now. I have a question I saw some questions coming in from people that were brand new on LinkedIn. I even saw Josephine is not on LinkedIn at all yet, saying, will this work for me? Realize that this authority is much bigger than LinkedIn. You don't have to use LinkedIn at all. This authority will help you on Facebook, your web page, your brochures, your business cards, any type of marketing that you're already doing, and any business is doing marketing would benefit from being seen with more authority. Now, I'm teaching you how to present the reseller opportunity on LinkedIn, but that doesn't even limit this to LinkedIn. And in our mastermind, you'll learn from people that are doing this with Facebook ads. They're doing this just in Facebook groups. You'll learn all the different ways. There's people doing this at meetups and networking events, Chamber of Commerce events. There's so many ways that you can do this. Someone was asking, how much of my time do I need to put into this? That, I'm going to be honest, and as you've seen, I'm a straight shooter, is a loaded question. You always get more out of whatever you put more time into. That's just a fact. There's no shortcut around that. I will tell you, we have people in our program that all they do is run the software every day. They religiously set a little reminder in their phone to remind them to do it, and they go in and run it. And they spend maybe 6 or 7 minutes a day. They run the software. That's all they do, and they probably make a sale every month or every other month. That's pretty good. That's $800 for 6 or 7 minutes a day. That's all they have time to do. Then we have people in our program that also, without just doing that, by the way, is leaving a lot of money on the table. At a minimum, if you're getting 30, 40, 50, 70 leads a day, those people that are looking at you, you should at least take the script I give you, copy and paste, and send that out to them. And that's a perfect task to outsource or give to a teenager, because it takes about an hour a day for you to just send a follow-up message to those people that looked at you. If you're doing just that hour a day, which you can easily hand off to someone else, those people that are consistently doing that are getting a sale every week or every other week. So now you're talking about $800 every week. Then we have people that are doing lots more. We have people that are meeting with clients. We have resellers that have rolled this into your existing packages. If you're a coach or offer any type of service, roll this right into what you're doing for your clients, because it only costs you $200. All you have to do is raise your price $200, and you can say, hey, now included with your first month with us is this authority citation package. Roll it right into what you're doing right now is one of the best ways to succeed with this. There were questions about LinkedIn. Do I need to be on LinkedIn to do this? We kind of answered that. Even if you're brand new on LinkedIn, I do have some bonus training on how to get started with LinkedIn in the membership site. We'll get you up to speed on LinkedIn quickly in less than 30 minutes. It's a second 30-minute training on how to get up to speed on LinkedIn. the software, there were some questions on. So we're not, and so my training walks you through in less than 30 minutes how to set up your LinkedIn profile. We're not doing your LinkedIn for you with this. We do have an option that you can add on if you want to hire us to do your LinkedIn profile for you. But you really don't need that. It's pretty, you saw how I make it fill in the blank with my teaching. I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to sell you something else. I'm a straight shooter with you guys. I want you to be making money with this because we're in business together. I want to be making money with you. That's fun for us to be in business making money together. Let's see. To access the software, you get access to that as soon as you join us. Here's what's going to happen once you join us. You're going to get within the next 24 hours, probably today, an email to our membership site. The membership site has the training. The training, remember, it's less than 30 minutes. It walks you through how to submit your quote for your media authority. It walks you through how to use the software and how to do your LinkedIn profile, all total in less than 30 minutes. That's all it takes to get started with this. I believe in keeping it short and sweet. What's also going to happen is every Friday, my customer service team runs a live webinar where they walk you through getting started in the membership site. So if you literally want someone to hold your hand, show you around the membership site, show you what to do, answer all your questions, have a live person there, we do a live orientation webinar every Friday. So you can hop right into that and get started. What you are going to want to do is submit your media citation right away because it does take us 5 to 7 business days or about a week to complete your citation. And what you're going to get back from us is the links to see yourself there live on the network's web pages. So you will get 4 separate links, one to ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. These are affiliate networks for those websites, but that doesn't matter. They're legit network web pages. And you'll see yourself there live on those links. And that's your proof. If you need to be able to prove that you were in the major media. Also, what you're going to get back from us is your profile picture. We will have done all the Photoshop work adding the logos to your profile picture. So go now. Go now. We are coming up on last call here. It's linkedinception.com/go. The bonuses will be ending once the webinar ends. The offer will be available until we hit capacity. Once we're at capacity, do not message me asking, can I still get in? Lots of people always do, and we just aren't able to take more people. This is a done-for-you service, so we have limited capacity as to how many people we can do at a time, and I want to keep the mastermind and the coaching calls highly interactive. That's why we're limiting enrollments in this. This works no matter where in the world you're based. We're getting you onto these 4 major networks. We have lots of people in all parts of Europe, Australia, North America, South America that are in the program. And so no matter where in the world you're based, those 4 major networks are the ones that you want to be cited into, and that's what we're getting you cited into. So the bonuses, by the way, are the LinkedInception software and the Greig closing your first deal for you. Those are the bonuses that end once the webinar ends. There is no extra charge for coming to the mastermind. It's included. All you have to do is cover your travel to get there. And if you're not able to get there, we record some of the mastermind. We don't record it all. I'm going to be honest with you guys because we're working live in people's businesses. We share freely when we're there together, but we don't put that on recording so that it gets out to the public. You can do this for a business or for yourself. As a person, you can, if you want to do this for multiple businesses. Some people have said they had a partner or have multiple products. Your second citation or second quote would be $200. So if you and your partner each want to get it done, or if you have different products and you each want to get it done. We have lots of people that are using this for their Amazon products or their physical products. You can get a quote from NBC that says, I was quoted on NBC as being one of the top pet products or whatever it is your specialty is. That's how you can use this. Now, anyone that's selling on Amazon, those are all potential customers for you. If you've seen any of those courses going around about how to sell on Amazon, those people who have those products are great clients for us. Authors and speakers are great clients for us. Small business owners are great clients for us. Those are the people that make the best clients for this. The software, again, runs on PC or Mac. it runs in a browser. There is no discount code. You do not need a discount code to get in. You're getting in with the discount when you go now to linkedinception.com/go. It's 3 payments of $297. Those payments are spaced out over 30 days. That's what it takes to get started. Or you can save an additional $200 by getting it all for $797 when you pay in full. I'm seeing lots of people saying they're very excited to join us. And we are coming up on the top of the hour now, so we're going to need to bring the webinar to an end. I want to thank those of you that have joined us here. Our moderators will stay on for another few more minutes. If you have any last questions, please put those into the chat box now. The moderators will knock them out. We're going to leave this screen up here so you can see everything you're getting. It's also listed on that webpage. That webpage will expire and go away once the offer is no longer valid. And once the bonuses are no longer valid, we'll remove those from the web page as well. As long as you see them on the web page, you're still getting them. You got them. Don't write to us saying, hey, did I get the bonus? The Super Connector information, I covered that today during the Q&A here. We covered that when you join our program, I'm introducing you to the top 100 Super Connectors. That's how you're getting the introductions to the Super Connectors. LinkedInception.com/go is the secret link we put together. So that's where you need to go right now to get in on this. I want to thank you for joining us today. That's going to bring today's webinar to an end. I'll leave the lines open for a few more minutes here for the moderators to answer any remaining questions.